This is the right place, isn't it? Is it supposed to be here?
Guys, this get back.
Good.
Greetings, dear friends and fellow citizens of this great country of ours that we call the good old US of A, the land of liberty, and as generations ago once sang, Columbia, the gem of the ocean. Today, I appear before you humbly. Yes, humbly, to announce my intent to run for the highest office of our land. I am throwing my hat into the ring. I am testing the waters, as it were, and throwing down the gauntlet. I'm not literally, of course. It's not like I go around carrying some medieval metal glove ready to throw it down at any time. That would be crazy.
Any time now?
Okay, Bill, I'm getting there. Oh, what I'm trying to say is that I want to be your write-in candidate for the United States of America. Yes! Hello, guys. Remember, this is where you're supposed to give me high fives after I announce, I'm running for president. We'll definitely work on that later. Right now, though, before I formally introduce myself, let's take a look at our current political situation. Now, as you must be aware, we are very close to the finish line in the presidential race, down to what looks like our apparent final nominees. And as people are letting the whole reality of it all sink in, many of you are asking yourselves, has it really come down to these choices? And like me, I'm sure you've been frustrated with the whole voting process, feeling, disenfranchised, like maybe we didn't have a real say in the matter. Even some of our elected officials are upset. In fact, earlier in the year, I believe it was a senator who said something to the effect that they would rather have a warm body run for president than the candidates from their party.
Wait a minute. They actually say that, or are you just making that up?
Bill, no, I am not making it up. I mean, I can't quote it exactly, but it was someone in Congress, I think it was. Okay, it might have been a governor of some state, or I can't give you a name, okay? You'll just have to look it up. But anyway, this person, whoever they were, basically said that a warm body would be better than any of the current candidates. And so what I'm saying to you, America, is, hey, you are looking at a warm body right here. Now, I'm sure some of you are thinking to yourselves that you would rather vote for the devil you know than for someone you don't know who's just on some video. But I would ask of you, do you really want to vote for the devil? Yeah, I'll let that sink in for a minute. Okay, I guess I won't let it sink in that long. Anyway, you can call it a protest vote or whatever you like, but instead of wishing you could just write down none of the above when you get to the ballot box in November, wouldn't you rather cast your vote for someone with a name other than the names that are on the ballot? Well, that someone has a name. You can vote for me, Dana T.
Dana T?
Yes, Bill. Dana T. I'm going by that because, well, it's easier to remember than using my full name. Plus, it's easier for friends and or family to, distance themselves from any association if necessary. Not that any of them would want to, of course, but I don't even know why I said that. Well, actually, I did have someone close to me question my presidential bid. But, you would think after 38 years of marriage that they'd have your back. And by that, I mean not sticking a knife into it. Who wants to hear someone say, "You're running for what?" Okay, she doesn't sound anything like that, and she probably never actually said that. But all I know is that if this campaign takes off, someone in our household is going to be singing a different tune, let me tell you. Okay, anyway, I thought that by going as Dana T, it might also help me to connect with our younger, more diverse demographic. Because, if you think about it, Dana T kind of sounds like the name of a rapper, like Ice-T, Jay-Z, Sheila E. Oh, okay, I know she wasn't a rapper per se, but boy, could she play those drums. I guess I shouldn't say that in the past tense because I know she's still around. I'm sure if you Google her, you'll find out exactly what she's up to these days. Anyway, getting back to what I was saying. I also thought that by using Dana T, it would be easier and faster for signing autographs.
Autographs?
Yes, Bill, autographs, in case any of this goes somewhere.
Somewhere in your mind.
No, Bill, not in my mind, in real life. I mean, I'm talking about us going all the way to Washington, D.C. And when I say we, I mean, you guys can come along too, because, what does Washington need more than more old white guys, right? It was a joke. So, getting back to my name, I simply believe that Dana T comes out of the mouth more easily.
Like vomit?
You, sir, are about this close to crossing the line with me. And you better tread lightly, otherwise there are going to be consequences. Severe consequences. Anyway, as far as Dana T goes, it will be easier for people to say. For instance, if someone sees me from across the street, they might yell out, "Hey, Dana T!" And I'll be like, "Hey," because not like I know them or anything. Or, if we do get a great response from this video and we want to hold a political rally, Dana T is an easy name for people to chant, before I come out on stage. Dana T, Dana T, Dana T, wah, wah. That's crowd noise, if you didn't catch that. But anyway, but what I really hope will happen is that I get a call in the near future where they'd say, "Could I speak to Dana T?" And I'll answer, "This is he," or I don't know, maybe "Speaking," or "You got him." I don't know. I'll have to think what my first response will be, with that whole thing. And anyway, they go on and say something like, "We wouldn't call you unless this was an emergency. But there are millions of dissatisfied members of both major parties and independents who are desperately looking for a third-party candidate. Is it at all possible that you would even consider coming over and allowing us to put your name in for the top slot?" And I'd be like, well, I would do it only unless everybody would agree to it. And then they'd be like, well, if we even mention the name Dana T, we would have an instant coalition. So then naturally I'd answer, "Well then, gentlemen and ladies, I guess I will be your man."
It must be nice to live in your world.
Bill, it really can be at times. Oh yeah, this applies to the two of you also, as far as using the first initial of your last names. So you would be Bill P, and I hope you don't pee, that is.
Grow up.
You grow up. Sorry about that. And so that means then you would be Bill B. So yeah, Bill P and Bill B, Bill P and Bill B, Bill P and Bill B. Yeah, you wouldn't want to say that too many times. A real tongue twister there. Yeah, I wanted to say these two actually are named Bill. Yeah. That reminds me, you'll get a kick out of this. I thought it'd be funny if we were walking down the street somewhere, with the two Bills behind me, of course, and some street person came up looking for a handout. Wait, is that politically correct? Should I say street person? Maybe I should say a person who just happens to be on a street looking for funds. I mean, it could be anybody, right? They may have just had a run of bad luck and needed money for groceries to help feed their family. Or, it could be someone who wants cash for drugs or alcohol.
Why would you say that? Makes it sound worse.
Okay, Bill, all I'm saying is that you never know, all right? Just let me tell this. Okay, so let's say that someone or anyone who on the street somewhere approaches me looking for cash for whatever purpose, illicit or licit. Wait, is licit an actual word? In any case, I would say, after they ask me for money, well, I suppose I could spare a couple of bills. How about these two? And then I point to the two of you. That would be hilarious.
How would they even get that?
What? How would they get it? I would explain it to them, all right? I would tell the person that you two are both named Bill, and while they were expecting a couple of dollar bills, I would turn that whole notion on its head by implying that I would hand over two guys named Bill. But you more or less ruined the joke, thank you very much.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah, wow, indeed. Well, let's get to the issue at hand. Actually, issues. One huge issue that candidates seem to be avoiding is our national debt. I personally haven't really studied it myself, but I did print off a chart from the internet. And since I was a bit rushed, before we did this thing we're doing now, I haven't had a chance to go over it, but hey, we can go over it all together, right? Because aren't we really all in this together, right? Okay, so, I don't know if you can see this from there, but it looks like it starts at 1980, which honestly doesn't look so bad, but whoa, you get closer to our current time and yeah, you can see how much it's climbed. And I don't know how recent this chart is, but it looks like it's around $17 million. Shoo-wee. Now, if I happen to become your president, I could fix this. I mean, don't we already have a budget of like, $1 billion? Yeah, so I would use that whole line item veto thing and just, cut back on some things here and there, and, after a few years, we will be looking good.
I don't think those figures are right.
I'm sorry, what?
Doesn't sound right. You sure we're talking millions?
It never ends with you, does it? What? 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 It's over 17 trillion? Trillion dollars? Are you... We don't have that kind of money. This is horrible. Our nation is doomed. Our children's children are only going to know misery. How did we even let this happen? I can't fix this. Nobody can fix this. What? Did you guys know? Okay. I guess I understand why no one is talking that much about this particular issue. And hey, I'm sorry about that little outburst. That was really over the top and uncalled for, and it also wasn't very presidential. But believe me, if I get into office, I will become very presidential. I will be so presidential, you won't believe it. Anyway, I was just reminded now by a couple of bills, a couple of balding bills.
Hey!
Whoa, someone's a little sensitive about hair loss.
Have you checked out the back of your head recently?
Okay, we don't have to get personal
You're
here.
the one that brought...
Okay, anyway, they were reminding me that as a presidential candidate, I can assure you that things will work out, one way or another. And I am going to make sure to get the best brains together, and with my brain and their brains, we will simply figure things out. kind of sounded a little weird, kind of like a zombie convention with all the talk about brains. I mean, what I meant to say is that I would get people with the best brains, not just the brains themselves. And when I say people with brains, I don't mean they're going around holding their brains. So,
You're way off point.
oh, thank you, Bill. And who made you political advisor all of a sudden?
You did say that if you got
Bill,
elected.
what difference at this point does it make? Let's just cross that bridge when we get to it, all right? So, as a political candidate, I can and should promise you a number of things. For instance, I will make it so that students can attend college tuition-free. However, mandatory textbooks will run around $2,000 each. No, I kid. I kid. Okay, what else? Yes, healthcare will be completely covered for everybody. Oh, and I am going to build a huge wall. I mean, not just at our southern border, but I'm talking about every border because not to keep people out, but to keep our citizens in, because we are going to need each and every one of you to pay all of the additional taxes to cover all of those free things that we're going to have. What?
The bridge idea is not a good idea.
No.
You need to.
Okay, sorry about another interruption there. I guess there's just some things you shouldn't say out loud.
Like free.
So, yeah, please just ignore the last thing or things I mentioned. I misspoke. Now, as I was saying earlier, though, you won't have to worry about things like extreme taxes because we're going to work it all out. How, you may ask? Please, 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 don't trouble yourselves about the little things we call details. Just remember, the best brains are going to be working on the details. We can do it. In fact, we will do it. A little support here? Forget it. So what I'm thinking is that maybe we should leave the big issues to the big politicians. I mean, I'm just like you, one of the little people. Wait, is that politically correct? You know I don't mean people who are short in stature or anything. I mean those of us who don't have the money or the power or the influence that most of our politicians seem to have. Now you may say, that's all well and good, Dana T, but I have a couple of immediate questions that I would ask of you. So this might be a good time to state the obvious. You know, the elephant in the room. I'll have to look at this video later to see if the two Bills are looking around to see if there really is an elephant in the room.
We can hear you, and we're not idiots. We know you're speaking metaphorically.
Metaphorically? Ooh, Bill used big word. And that, my friends, is why Bill would not be a contender for president. He doesn't speak plainly, you know, like I do, straight to the heart. Because being regular folk, just like you, I know how to get down to the, real nitty-gritty. I can relate to you. In other words, I feel your pain.
But didn't you use the word disenfranchised earlier?
Well, yeah, okay. So I don't speak down to the people. Yeah, I don't think they're idiots. Boy, Bill, give me some credit. Okay, what was I going to say? Oh yeah, two things. First, many of you, I'm sure, are probably thinking, well, Dana T, as much as we might love to have you as a candidate for president, isn't it mighty late to get into the game for president? Listen, if you look at a number of other countries and the length of their campaigns, we start looking a little silly as far as how long we let things drag out and, of course, how many millions of dollars are spent. So no, in a sane world, I'm getting in at exactly the right time and with the right amount of money. 0. Which, by the way, I hope does change. Secondly, I'm sure that some of you have been observing me here and thinking to yourselves, boy, Dana T., for someone who is running for president, you sure seem mighty casual. Well, sir, or ma'am, that is intentional. Oh, sure, I could be wearing a suit and tie just like all of the other politicians, but by going without one, a tie that is, I'm declaring that I have no ties. I mean, I have ties in my closet, of course.
Are you trying to mean that metaphorically?
Well, there goes Mr. Vocabulary again. Why, yes, Bill, I'm talking about ties metaphorically. So what I'm saying is that I have no ties to big business, big money, or special interest of any sort. In other words, I cannot be bought. Please clap. I mean, if you're watching this at home right now, I know I can't hear you or anything, but somehow just knowing you're out there supporting me in some way, it just makes me feel good inside. Okay, so I said that I would address some of the not so large issues. And which ones are close to my heart? Well, let's start with my name. Tell me, when did Dana become a girl's name?
When wasn't it a girl's name?
Oh, when wasn't it a girl's name? Oh, I don't know, maybe back in the 50s when I was born, when there were plenty of famous men named Dana, like the actor Dana Andrews, and, plenty of other well-known men named Dana. So, as your president, I would balance things out a bit, as far as the ratio goes between guys and gals named Dana. I would enact a law declaring that 25% of all males, every 4th male born, would need to be named Dana, until things were rectified, which would be at my discretion, of course.
First of all, that's crazy. And secondly, I don't think you'd get away with that.
Listen, Bill, as president, I can do a lot of things. And people who don't like some of the things, well, I'm not going to make any threats, but I can tell you that bad things will happen to those people who aren't on my side. Okay, enough about that. The other thing I'm concerned about are CDs. Now, I'm not talking about certificate of deposits. I'm talking about compact disc. Now, during my lifetime, I went many, many years quite satisfied with vinyl albums until the music industry decided that CDs were the way to go. Long story short,
That'd be a first.
Bill, anyway, I did adapt and was eventually satisfied with the CD format. Then it was decided that digital and downloads were the way to go. I'm sorry, but I'm not ready to transition again. I mean, I'm just too invested. Besides, how reliable is all of this anyway? Oh, my music is in the cloud. Yeah, we know what happens to clouds, right? They disappear. It almost feels like a conspiracy at times. I mean, not that long ago, a newspaper columnist reported that some car manufacturers would finally have models that wouldn't have CD players. Finally? What, we will finally have vehicles that don't have options? I'm sorry, but America is all about options, so please, don't take mine away. No, thank you. Also, the recent movie Zootopia had a character asking, who listens to CDs anymore? Well, I'll tell you, made-up animated cartoon character, I still listen to CDs. Thousands of us still listen to them, okay? Oh, and let me add one final thought. When I go on a road trip, I can line up my CDs, with the exact music I want beforehand. But you get a CD-less person?
CD-less?
Yeah, Bill, like homeless, someone without a home, only it's someone without CDs. Anyway, let's say that they, a CD-less person is on their road trip, and they're trying to decide what song they want to listen to from an endless list of titles. So they're like, oh, what should I pick next? And meanwhile, as they keep scrolling and scrolling through the list, they're slowly veering into oncoming traffic. And next thing you know, they crash into a semi and bam, they're dead.
Seems rather harsh.
Well, you know what, Bill? Death is harsh. Death is very harsh. I'm sorry, but there are just some things that have to be said. Of course, there are other issues. You know, like people who don't know how to use their car blinkers. I'm sure some of you are probably nodding your heads right now, thinking, yeah, Dana T., we should have laws about that. Well, you know what? We do have laws. They're called rules of the road. Don't get me started. Okay. Oh, you know what? I just had a thought. Sorry, I half expected some kind of snarky comment from the rogue gallery back here. Anyway, getting back to CDs again. If we do happen to have a political rally, I want people to bring a CD with them, you know, and raise them up high. You know, just like they did at concerts way back when, and they had matches. Then I think after too many burnt fingers, they switched to lighters, and now I guess it's cell phones. So, yes, bring your CDs and make a statement. You'll be saying, we still matter. Sure, the millennials might say otherwise. Millennials. We probably lost most of them after the first minute or two of this video. From what I gather, they like to get their information in concise pieces. But regardless of what the millennials might say about us, we do still matter. We're not gone yet from this earth, and we still matter.
Are you still talking about people who listen to CDs, or are you talking about baby boomers now?
What? I don't know what you're talking about. But, you know, now that you brought it up, I think I could say something about that.
No, don't feel you have to say it.
Yes, so we have baby boomers like us, Gen Xers, and millennials. But I don't think one group is necessarily exclusive to the other, or that any group is inclusive apart from one another, unless one group purposely distances themselves from the others. And as with any group, yeah, I want to be on record as saying, I plan to remove those distances. Yes, I want to be on record as saying, I can unify these groups. And even though I recently, very recently, in fact, made a comment about millennials that could have been misconstrued, I just want to make it clear that I have nothing against millennials. To be frank, I love millennials. Also, I love city dwellers and farm people. Oh, and I love evangelicals, because just like it says in 2 Corinthians, or was that in the Philippines?
Don't you mean Philippians?
Oh yeah, and I love the Philippians too. You know, of course, anyone who's eligible to vote. Also, anybody and everybody will be welcome at one of our rallies. Well, almost anybody and everybody. I mean, we don't want any Dum-Dums or dumbbells or just plain dummies or mannequins. That would just be strange. Also, we don't want to see any troublemakers or bullies or ruffians or thugs or haters or jerks or bozos or nincompoops or numbskulls or lame brains or blockheads or meatheads or lunkheads or knuckleheads or naysayers or bad eggs or scoundrels or goons or ne'er-do-wells or hooligans or bushwhackers or rapscallions or for scallywags, especially scallywags.
Okay, we get it!
Bill, all I am saying is give peace a chance. I just want to make it clear that all we want is an orderly and peace-loving rally. Oh, and you know what? I just thought about this, but we should have a theme song. I know some music artists have told certain politicians to stop using their songs because they disagree with their politics, but who would have trouble with me, Dana T? The song that I think would be perfect, with me being a unifier and all, would be Come Together Right Now. Oh, okay, I get it. You guys aren't fans of the Beatles.
No, we're not fans of you singing the Beatles.
Fine, whatever. Okay, so what I'm thinking is that maybe Paul McCartney and Yoko Ono would come together and give me approval to use that song. Yeah, that would be like icing on the cake, and it would make for a really awesome rally. So, Paul, Yoko, if you're watching this right now...
Dana to Earth, besides that being outside the realm of possibility, you sure you could even attract enough people to have a rally?
Well, Mr. Negativity, you just never know now, do you? I mean, maybe if this video takes off, we could have 1 or 2 or maybe even 3 or 4 rallies. Who knows? And, since I'm basing it all on the response to the video, and I don't believe I'm asking you, but what do you think would be a good response as far as YouTube views go? I mean, 50 or 100?
1,000?
Really? It goes that high? Wow, who knew? No, to be honest, I was thinking 50 to 100 people total, like friends and family.
You don't have that many friends.
Listen, you would never, ever talk to a president that way. And you will rue the day, sir, if I ever get into office. You will rue the day. Okay, I admit I'm not on YouTube enough to, pay attention to numbers. I guess now I'm going to be on YouTube, but it's all uncharted territory for me. So I really could use some support, and meaning yours, America. Oh, okay, I think this might be a good time for a close-up moment to drive home my final message. People of America, I realize that you don't know that much about me. However, wait, what? What are you... Okay, forget the close-up. No, enough. What are you doing? I didn't ask for some shot up my nostrils. What were you thinking just then? Seriously. Great, now I'm completely thrown off. Okay, I guess I'll just wrap this all up. That was not a cue to start clapping. Oh, man, no respect at all. As I was starting to say, I do want to wrap things up, but first I want to show the people my slogan. Because as you know, every serious campaign has a slogan. Okay, let me run by a couple that I didn't use. You want to? So, first I was thinking this. Dana T. He seems like he could be a really nice person if you got to know him, and maybe even an honest kind of guy. So why not give him your vote? I know, way too wordy. So then I went to the opposite extreme and just used my name only, but I added this great big exclamation mark after it because, it kind of it's like you're shouting out my name to give it that extra oomph. Dana T! Because I heard adding the exclamation mark can really help a campaign, but then someone named Bill told me, no, not really. So now I'm just going with this. Dana T, you could do worse.
It's true.
Well, I know, I sincerely believe that. And you know what? Like I said earlier, let the big politicians tackle the big issues and let the small people, gotta stop saying that, let us, the regular folk, in other words, everyone else, deal with the smaller ones. Now, I brought up a couple of my own, and you may have a couple of yours that you'd like me to address down the road. And if we do happen to get a good response from this video, what would be good response?
Hundreds of thousands?
Okay, really, Bill. You're just making yourself sound ridiculous right now. So, anyway, if we do get anywhere with this, I will give voice to your own concerns about other matters. So, tell me, Bill, where can these fine people send their concerns and or donations?
You mean you were serious about that?
Of course I was serious about that. Why didn't you think I was serious about that?
I'm with Bill. I thought you were joking too.
Oh, so now Bill chimes in. Okay, great. Fantastic. Everybody just gang up on Dana T. Honestly, how are we ever going to make a go of this if you guys just treat it like a joke? You know what? Maybe I need to, get some new help. Yeah. How would you like it if I trade in you two Bills for, a couple of Johns? Yeah, I bet you wouldn't like that at all now, would you?
You do realize you couldn't use the joke about the couple of bills, then?
Oh, yeah, that's right. I would like to use that at a rally, and if someone named Bill wouldn't wreck it for me again. Oh, and it probably wouldn't sound that great if I said I was working with a couple of Johns, the whole ladies of the night thing.
What?
So, okay, apparently we still have a few things to work out on our end.
Apparently.
However, we will let you know where to send your comments and hopefully donations once we see how people respond to this thing that we're doing. And maybe then I can afford some actual real campaign signs. So, it's up to you now, America. If you want to make me, Dana T., your write-in candidate for President of the United States, or if you just want me to speak on your behalf about, the little irritants in life, like these two jokers behind me, What? Oh, come on, guys. I was just joking. Me, the big guy, kidding around all the time. I mean, come back. We're a team, remember? Yeah, come on. Let's... Okay. Yeah, sorry. A little awkward there. So, America, let me know what you think, and maybe we'll see you again.
Or not.
No!